Ladies and gentlemen, this is them on the moon. Okay. What's up? Happy Sunday. Welcome to my update. This week's a little crazy. Got a couple cool things to talk about. One of which is, since I've been here, it's been similar to Bali where I haven't really left the villa at all. I've went like a block or two down the street to the ATM. But other than that, I haven't really gone out at all. I haven't really left at all. So yesterday I really didn't want to work out, and I'd worked out the day before, so I could take the day off if I wanted. And I decided I would just go for a walk and explore a little bit. And I actually saw this post on Substack that was like, Da Vinci and like Tesla and like literally just listed all these greats, right? All these scientists and creators and people that were extremely famous all got their ideas from long walks. But yeah, you're different. That's what it said. So I was like, I kind of wanted to go for a walk. So I was like, let me go for a walk. So I go out. I don't know what I was expecting, but geez. So this area of Hanoi, it's like really on the outskirts of Hanoi, and there's no foreigners. There's no white people. There's no tourists. And I could tell because everyone's looking at me, right? Everyone's like, oh, like people are yelling shit at me in Vietnamese. People are saying hello. People are kids, bro, full on as I'm going by. And man, I saw so much crazy shit. It's really popping, right? Really chaos, busy. Tons of shops, motorbikes going like crazy. People working, people doing stuff. Really chaotic, right? And I'm just walking down the street, and first thing I see is a cooked dog on a food cart. Like just like it had a little blanket on it, and it had a fan to like keep the flies off. It was just like looked like a little medium-sized pit bull, just like cooked. And I was like, holy crap, that's crazy. And man, there's just so much going on, and really poverty, a lot of trash, a lot of just like you could tell, just very destitute, kind of poor people. And I saw one of the kids that was staring at me, right? He was with his parents and like two other kids, or his sister maybe, and one other kid. And they have like right on the side of the road, a little shack, and I think is their house, and a little table. And the mom has like a piece of tarp, like plastic laid out on the concrete, and is just butchering a full pig, just on the ground, no gloves, no shoes, just full ribs, full pig carcass. And then on the table there's like a bowl of water where like the hooves and the ears and stuff were in it, and just right on the side of the road. And I was like, oh, that's crazy to see that. And just all kinds of stuff like that. There was like fish. There was some lady just like who had like a tub of water with like dead fish in it, and like there's fish guts everywhere on the street, and they're just chopping fish and selling it. And I was like, holy crap. So a lot of that kind of thing. And then a lot of freaking smiles. A lot of people just smiling at me and saying hi and saying crap to me in Vietnamese. I don't know what they were saying, but sounded nice. And I was just like, whoa, just like, holy crap. And some old people mean mugging me pretty hard. Some people were really looking not happy. But like I was saying in my blog post today, like I could tell their life sucked and they were pissed, and just felt bad. It was like amazing and sad, but so much, right? I'm just like, everything's different and crazy and like wild. And I was like, wow, what a cool experience. And man, the way that there was one kid looking at me, and he was probably like 2 or 3, and I walked right next to him, and he was just in the opening of the shop, and he was looking at me like fear. It was like this crazy facial expression of fear and confusion, and just like he was just like looking at me like, what? Like, I feel like it seemed like I was the first white person or something. And I know I look crazy anyways, but I was like, hi, buddy. And I waved at him, but he was just like, oh, like it was so funny. And I could just tell they don't have tourists around here. And it's like deep it's like on the edge of Hanoi, and probably 30 minutes from like the city center. And then I just keep walking for like a while, right? 15, 20 minutes. And I get to the edge of the city, and it's like rice fields, or I don't know if it was rice, but fields, crops, and then like these amazing mountains that are like so beautiful. I'll put a picture up here. It's like these really beautiful like white stone, right? And like greenery and stuff. So this is like kind of the edge, and there's mountains in the distance. But this was like the edge of Hanoi where I was walking, people working out in the fields, and it was just freaking cool. It was gorgeous and just exhilarating, dude. I was just like, wow, like just so different and so many crazy things. And what else did I see that was crazy? Oh yeah, some dude was like yelling at me, and he had like this crazy bong and like a bucket of water. It was like a gravity bong or something. And he's trying to get me to smoke some, I think it was probably weed or something, maybe tobacco. I don't know. It's probably weed. Tried to get me to smoke with him. Some of the people that would yell at me, they'd be like, say a bunch of shit. So I'd stop with the Translate app and be like, what's up? And they, like one dude wanted to give me a taxi ride. One dude wanted me to buy his bananas. So they're trying to get me to buy shit too. But it was crazy. And some people just smiled at me so big. Some of the women at their like little stand, there's just a million little shops and food stands and things. And just freaking smiling at me. It's so big. Just hello. And just like so nice and very heartwarming. So anyways, I passed a little stand with some dragon fruits, which I wanted. So I went back here, got my money, went back. And there's a little lady sitting there next to a scale, old lady. So I type out, hey, how much is it for a dragon fruit? And I put it to her, but she just like looks away in shame. I think she couldn't read. I think it seemed like she couldn't read because she just kind of was like, and I was like, okay. And then there was some other lady in there just shopping, a younger woman. And so she helped me. So she read it and she talked to the lady and she told me, 50 per kilo or whatever. So she helped me and she was so nice. She was smiling so big at me, so happy and so helpful. And it was just heartwarming and nice. And I felt bad for this little lady though. Because I feel like maybe it was disrespectful because I just like assumed she could read and I think maybe she couldn't read. Or maybe her eyesight was bad. I don't know. It seemed like she couldn't read. But anyways, who knows? So that was crazy. And I was sweating my balls off. But wow, what a crazy experience, man. Because here's the thing is this traveling I'm doing, like I'm not out here to have those experiences. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to live better in better places for cheaper and focus, right? So these like cultural experiences are amazing and I want to have them, but it's like an added bonus. So I'm not going out doing stuff trying to just have all these cultural experiences, but it really is freaking amazing and cool. And man, I just feel like for your average American, if you could just take your average suburban American or whatever, city American or rural American and put them here and have them do that walk, it would freaking change their life. It would it's so crazy. Like the way things are running and the way people are acting and the shit that's going on and just the chaos and the trash and the shops and it's just, everything's so crazy. It's just hard to explain. Part of me wants to like film it, but I just feel like it's disrespectful. And when I'm in a place like this, I don't want to just go around with my camera, filming the dog and shit. I just feel like I don't want people to feel like I'm this American, like, oh wow, you're freaking selling a dog. Oh, like it just seems rude and mean, and I just don't want to do it. And like I took some pictures of the scenery and stuff, which I feel like isn't disrespectful. People see me take a picture of the mountain. It's like, okay, but I don't want to be like in people's face in the shop with the camera and shit. It's just doesn't feel right. And I feel like maybe if I was here for a long time and I got to know some people and people kind of knew me, then I would be like, okay, but I don't have any video or photo of it because I felt like it was rude. But anyways, that's kind of the big part of my update. Another thing I'll mention is there was a storm, right? So check out these clouds, bro. It was like I've never seen such tumultuous clouds. Like this isn't the best photo of it. I took some video too, but so these clouds started tornado spinning. I was like, holy crap. And then there was just a giant storm and the wind was like shaking the house and like shit was flying in the air and it was raining sideways, like full like typhoon vibes. And man, like I love a good storm and I've been through a lot of storms. There were some crazy storms in Bali. And I've been through some crazy storms and I like it, but man, the way it was shaking the house was full on triggering my earthquake PTSD. And I was like legitimately had this like intense anxiety and fear in the house. And I opened the windows really big, opened the blinds and made some tea and just sat there and like watched the storm and just like observed my physiological reaction. But it was crazy. Like I was it was so surprisingly uneasy, right? I'm like scared and like I have this like anxiety and I can hear like the thing shaking and the shit falling and like it was just like I don't know, it was weird. I just normally I wouldn't be that scared, but I think I just hear these noise. I hear structural creaking. I hear like 'cause the windows are like flexing because the wind is blowing so hard, and I hear things like building related moving things, and it just and the rain, the sound of the rain, right? Because when I thought that when the earthquake first started, I thought there was like water on the outside of the condo, right? So I hear the rain hitting the glass and like all those sounds just like freaking freak me out, man. And I booked my trip back to Bangkok and I'm staying in the first apartment that I stayed in when I went to Bangkok the first time with Spencer. And I'm curious how it's going to be because it's one of those really tall, thin ones. And man, I remember seeing the earthquake damage on it and it was rough. It was like roasted. So that's kind of scary. But I'm just going to face it. I don't want to be like this forever. I don't want to be having to deal with it all the time. And I just want to get over it and face it. Like, I don't want to like not stay in the condo because I'm scared, so we're just going to get there. But it's just interesting and funny. But I do love a good storm. It's really cool to see the earth, like the world, like doing its thing. I'm like, wow, nature. So there was that. And then what else do I got? Okay, yeah, this is crazy. First Danny Suede performance ever next weekend. The music night got canceled yesterday because of the storm, but I'm scheduled on Saturday to play the piano and sing, and I've been working on 3 songs. I'm going to play Sheets, Soldier, and a new song, Knowledge is Flower, which I wrote here. And so I'm just practicing a bunch. I'm freaking nervous. It's so funny because I know that there's probably going to be like 4 people, or maybe no one, maybe just the staff. Like sometimes there's no one when the band is there, but I'm just freaking scared. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But I'm just going to rip it. And the band's really good. So I don't know if people will like my music. I don't know if people will think I suck or it's like bad or like annoying or something because it's like such different style music than they play over there. But I'm just going to do my best. I'm just like, it's funny because I almost wasn't going to do it. I was almost deciding not to do it because I was too scared. But it's like, dude, I'm a freaking artist. Like I want to do shows. I want to be able to perform. I love music. And I think I have this opportunity that just fell in my lap. These guys are practically begging me to sing over there. And I'm like, how am I going to not do that? It's like, and it's perfect entry level. It's like probably no one there. It's like 4 people and it's like in Vietnam. Like, no, I'm never going to see these people again probably. It's like just... I don't have to promote it. I don't have anyone there that knows me. Like, it's just the best. I was just handed this like perfect opportunity to like just dip my toes in. And I'm like too scared to do it. I'm like, fuck that. I'm doing it. Like, it's crazy. So I'm trying to reframe my mind around like it's a fun opportunity. It's perfect opportunity. And I'm just going to practice and do my best and have fun. So I'm going to film it probably and put it on YouTube unless I just completely do horribly. But we'll see. Who knows what'll happen, but I'm going to try to not worry about it the most I can. But that'll be cool. There's a little bug flying around me. Okay, let's get the rest into the update. So, new from me this week. Why you can trust God even if you don't believe in him. New blog post about faith and interesting post on faith. I noticed I lost like probably 5 subscribers when I posted this. I think some people did not like it. I could see why people would be like maybe offended or not like what I said in here. But it's just genuine. It's my genuine thoughts. And I think it's really interesting. I've never heard it. I've never heard this idea that I share in this post articulated this way. I'm not saying no one ever has, but it's to me a new thing that I came up with. So I like it. And then my new song Sheets is out. If you haven't heard it, you can click this and you got all the streaming service. And I did a art breakdown of how I made the art on Keyshot and After Effects, and that's on YouTube. So that's that new from me this week. What I'm wondering about, really not a lot this week. I really try to stay curious and be searching things, but I just didn't a lot this week. And it's kind of a bummer because sometimes I'm curious about so many things. But what I was wondering is, are there American-style suburbs in Vietnam? Which, yes, there are. They're, especially in the big cities, they're a little different, little Vietnam style, but they're suburbs and they're meant for foreigners and stuff like that. So, and I was just wondering that because of my experience walking through the city. Like, I wonder if they do like suburbs here at all, but they do. And then do they eat dogs in Vietnam? Which they do. And I saw some pictures because I'm not going to lie. When I saw the dog, I was like, is that a dog? Like, what is that thing? But after looking at it, I'm like, okay, it's a freaking dog. It just looks a little weird because it has no fur. You know, it's kind of like a cooked pig, right? Where it's like this, it's just the skin and it's kind of yellowy, like cooked, you know, like deep fried. It looks like they just deep fried this freaking dog. But yeah, so they do eat dogs in Vietnam, although it's going away. You know, they're starting to do it less and less. But anyways, that's interesting. Okay, what I'm watching this week. This crazy new ChatGPT agents, bro. Holy crap, 20 minutes, watch it. It's total game changer. I'm just waiting for mine to update. The update's like rolling out this week to all the accounts. But holy crap, it's the coolest freaking thing. It's such an interesting, I'm always like, okay, how is this AI thing going to evolve? And it's interesting because with the agent, it's basically ChatGPT, but they basically give ChatGPT its own computer within ChatGPT. So it has its own browser. It's like a ChatGPT browser that it uses, and it has its own coding environment, and it has its own, like, it's like it has its own computer within ChatGPT where it has these tools where it can do things, right? So it can browse the internet, it can make like PowerPoint presentations and use like certain tools for processing and producing imagery and coding, and I forget a couple other things, but it's really cool, and it can just do full on big tasks for you, and it can stop in the middle and tell you, ask you questions if it gets stuck, and then it has like a live view. So as it's working, it'll work for like, 30 minutes or an hour or whatever on whatever task you give it. And it can just do all these different tasks, and you can watch it live, what it's doing. So you can stop it and give it extra information, say, hey, don't do that, or do this, or hey, also, I forgot about this. Can you do this as well? And it'll just like update. It's really cool, really amazing, going to be a total game changer. It can stop it, like if it needs to put in payment or log into an account and ask you for the login, you can log into stuff. It's really freaking amazing, honestly, just a banger. So I'm stoked to try that. This is the best comprehensive thing on Epstein I've ever seen. Saagar is a legend, bro. This dude is so good. And it's just a history of Epstein, basically, and the whole freaking thing. And it's not he does some speculation at the end, but everything is facts. It's just, here's who he knew, here's who he was working with, here's what he was doing, here's how the trials went, here's what happened, and just talks you through the hard documented facts of this dude to make the case that he was basically in some ways either CIA or Mossad agent, or both, like not agent, asset, right? And he explains what an asset is, like what a CIA asset is, or a Mossad asset is, and it explains how it's not like an employee. It's not like he's a secret agent for the CIA. It's that the CIA has to do all kinds of things, and the Mossad and these intelligence agencies have to do all kinds of things that they cannot have a paper trail, right? So they use powerful, rich people to do certain things for them, to move around money, to do negotiations, to just connect to other powerful intelligence or other powerful people. And there's endless evidence that Epstein was playing those roles because he had so much money. He was working with so many billionaires and all the elites, King of New York type shit. And there's just a really good case for that, right? That's a lot of what he was doing. And even aside from all the sex trafficking type of thing. But I also saw this interview, which was one of the victims. And she was talking about how she was 14 at the island, being, raped multiple times a day by Epstein and a bunch of other people. She says a bunch of the co-conspirators and other people, right, were using her at this island. And she said there was tons of other girls coming in and out of the island all the time, right, just flooding in and out of the island. And she was saying it was an interview of her when Ghislaine went to prison. And she was saying that Ghislaine needs to die in prison because of what they did to her and all these other girls. But the fact that we know there was other people doing that stuff, and then the Trump administration and these people coming out and saying there's no list, there's no other people, there's no information, there's nothing to see here. Yes, there is. It's a fact that the frickin' whole entire island was cameras in the bathrooms, in the bedrooms, everything. There was footage and cameras, right? There is other people implicated. Maybe it's not like frickin' Bill Clinton and Bill Gates and these people, but there are other people to be held accountable for what happened. without a doubt. It's just a fact. The idea that they're trying to get the American public to just forget this and just accept there's nothing else to see here is freaking insane. Honestly, really makes you skeptical of Trump. Why is he doing that, right? Because I think he has something to hide. In this, Saagar talks about Trump's ties to Epstein and the things Trump would say on record saying, oh yeah, I think Epstein's maybe the only person who likes women younger than me, and he likes them young, he likes them real young, and da-da-da, and saying shit like that, and all this weird kind of shit. And there's all kinds of wacky, crazy, freaky stuff. And that's not even on the conspiratorial side, right? You get on the conspiratorial side of the blackmail, of the child pedo ring that's like this weird kind of satanic cult thing. And it gets weird, right? And maybe there's truth to some of that stuff. Maybe there's not. I do think there's some evidence that is weird. Like when you look at Epstein's office and you look at the temple on his island, all these things, there's some weird things. But if you just only look at the facts, only what we know for sure that's documented, that's in the court papers, that's in the freaking public record, even that stuff is damning. And it's like the fact that they're just like nothing to see is just absolutely bananas. And you look on the comments of this, you look on anything on the internet, every single person is like, this is bananas. We're not letting this go. This is crazy. Keep pushing, keep pushing. So who knows what's going to happen, but it's really crazy. It's really crazy. Anyways, moving on. I'm still in Chronicles. It's a lot. It's a lot of reading of kings, and it's just king after king. And it's just this pattern where some of the kings do what God wants and follow the covenant and follow God. Some go to worship other gods, and then it's just like endless stories of, okay, this king followed God and he was blessed and he won battles and he got this stuff and he blah, blah, blah. And then this other king came and he didn't do what was good in the eyes of the Lord. And then he got sick and he got this thing, and then God punished him and he lost the battle, and people came to Jerusalem and took all the gold out of the temple and blah, blah, blah. And then another king came in and restored the temple and he did what God thought was good. And it's endless back and forth of this, which I really think I relate to, because if you conceptualize God as the highest ideal, right? Your purpose, your highest ideal, what you should be doing, right, in life. Most of us, especially me, lose sight of that constantly and do other crap, right? Where I'm just all the time watching YouTube videos or working on something or doing something that I'm like, this isn't perfectly in line with my purpose. And I feel like that's like metaphor of these kings that worship other gods, right? Worshiping other gods is focusing and giving your attention and your time and effort to things that don't further that greater good or that highest ideal, right? So it's like a metaphor for that in a lot of ways, whether it's true or not, that I relate to. And I think most people probably do. It's like a very universal human experience. So that's kind of what I'm getting out of that. What I'm listening to is this song by Russ. You made me go crazy. Yeah. And it's pretty good. I just watched an interview of him and I wanted to check out some of his music. This is kind of some of his new stuff. It's pretty cool. So yeah. And then upcoming, I didn't actually fill out the rest of this yet, but upcoming is the only thing I really have upcoming is my live studio session in Bangkok, which comes out on August 12th. So that's a while away. But let's get this photo dump here. So we'll go to the photo dump. So these are the mountains. Very beautiful. Very cool. Very cool landscape. Such a beautiful country, man. It's crazy. This is me, selfie. That I'm growing the beard, but I'm going to shave it before I sing. Look at this sunset or sunrise, baby. So cool. So pretty. Nice. Another one. Sunrise. Those storm clouds. Oh, another selfie. Same selfie. Okay, this is the guy. I was like, this is my talk about the performance. This will be my first live performance, so I will need to prepare. Haha. He's like, okay, bro, I'll make note of your performance for next weekend. Hope you have an amazing show. So I'm freaking out. This is my kettlebell. 20 kg big old concrete filled kettlebell. Ripping it. This is my food. This is my daily meal. So it's like this one has like pork ribs, pork and chicken and an egg. And now I just get 2 of these, but this one's just chicken and rice and then fried rice. So I get 2 of these bowls now, and then I get a whole other bowl of just full of chicken, and then I mix it in. So that's my daily meal. But, you know, I have been getting some back knee recently, getting a bunch of zits on my back. And I don't know, it's just because I've been sweating more. Like I've been going outside and doing stuff where I sweat a lot. And then I try to shower off pretty soon after I sweat a lot, but maybe from that. But I think maybe the oils or like something in this food is giving me back knee too. I don't know. It's hard to say. Um, just a nice picture of the clouds this is from my yard. And this is the banner, but anyways, that's my photo dump. Okay, so I got a couple other things I just want to mention on here. So I think maybe one thing. Yeah. I had this experience. So in Bali, the first time I went, we had a housekeeper named Manku and his wife, Ilu. And we became homies with them. So this time when I went back to Bali, I saw him and his family. They came to my place and with his kids, with his 2 daughters. And then I took them to dinner up at a resort, this like really nice, fancy resort. And I think for them, it was like crazy. I think it cost me like $60 for everyone to get in there and to eat. But to them, it was just holy crap. So anyways, he hits me up while I was here and asks me to pay a down payment for him on a new motorbike because his daughter doesn't want to go to school. And I think she has to walk because they use the other motorbike or their motorbike doesn't work. And now she doesn't want to go to school. And he wants me to pay the down payment for him. And it was just an uncomfortable experience because I kind of want to help him. But I said, okay, how much? He's like, we'll do the installments. We'll pay the installments if you can just pay the down payment for us. So I said, okay, how much is the down payment and how much are the installments? The down payment was about $250. So it was about 300,000 rupees, I think, or 3 million rupees, which is like $250. And then the installments are like 14 million, or not 14 million, 1.4 million. So I think the installments are about half-ish of the down payment. And I said, well, can you afford the payments, the installment? And he said, yep, I'll figure it out and we can pay it. But I'm like, dude, if you can pay the installments, if you can save that much money, just save that much money for 2 months and then you can pay the down payment, right? So you could just do the down payment. And he's like, oh, well, and it was like hard to communicate it because he was, I was doing translator app. And it was weird because I think he didn't want to just be like, yeah, we could save for 2 months and do it, but you have money and we want you to help us pay it because you have money. And it would be nice. But he was coming at it like, oh, we can't afford it. But I'm like, yeah, you can. You're just saying, and so that's what made me uncomfortable because it seemed like deceptive. And I'm like, how are you going to make these payments if you can't just save the payments for 2 months? And he seemed to not be able to get it. And I kept talking to him about it. And he finally got it. He's like, okay, I understand. I see what you're saying. And I was like, okay, so is it fine? He's like, yeah, it's fine. I was like, okay. But it just felt like shit because on one hand, like, I'm not in the best financial situation, right? I've got tons of crazy bills coming and things. And, when it comes to push comes to shove, I could do $250 and send it to him and help him get his motorbike. But like I said, it just felt icky because I feel like he was kind of tricking me a little bit. He like wouldn't be honest that he just didn't want to pay the down payment and just wanted me to pay it because he thinks I have money, which I do. But it's like, it was just weird and it felt bad. And I'm like, should I just freaking do it or not? And I ended up just not doing it, but it felt icky and bad. And I'm like, I'm so lucky. And like, why can't I just help this dude? But then I feel like, too, it's this thing where I feel like he'd be just hitting me up for money all the time and then be like, oh, I can't pay the installment this month. Can you pay it? And I just was like, do I want to get in that mess, and like have to deal with that? So I don't know. It just felt bad. Felt weird. I didn't know what to do. Don't know what to think. And, there's this funny thing with, I remember I bought a webcam for my homie Josh for his like Shiloh Children thing for him to do live streams. And when I bought it for him, I literally, as I bought it, or as I sent him the money, I didn't buy it for him. I sent him the money for it. As I sent it, I got this refund from I forget if it was from a plane ticket or what it was from, for like a little more than the amount of the webcam. Like at the same time, I was like, send, and then it was like, ding, you got a refund, which I didn't think I was going to get. And the money just came right back. So I was like, wow. And I've had that happen multiple times where I'm like, holy crap, like the money just came right back to me, or like I gave money or helped someone and then I got the money. So I'm like, okay, maybe that'll happen if I give Manku the money for the bike. But I'm like, I think it doesn't work if you give the money expecting to get it, right? You have to give it not expecting that you'll get anything back, and then that's how you get the money back, right? So I'm thinking about that. I'm like, okay, so if I give him the money and I expect something back, like, oh, I'm probably going to just get the money back somehow, then I won't get it back because I'm only doing it because I'm expecting I'll get the money back, right? So if I know that and I think, okay, I give him the money, but I'm expecting something back, so I'm not going to get anything back, then I'm back to giving him the money with no expectation of getting money back, because in my head, I'm like, well, I'm expecting money back, so I know I'm not going to get money back. So I'm not going to get money back. So I give him the money thinking that. And then I would get the money back because I was thinking I wasn't going to get the money back, right? And give it anyways, even thinking I won't get the money back. So it's like this weird paradox. It's like the thing, if Pinocchio says his nose is going to grow, does it grow? Because if he says it's going to grow and it doesn't grow, he lied, but then it'll grow. So then he was telling the truth. So if he told the truth, why would it grow, right? It wouldn't grow if he told the truth that his nose was going to grow. But it only grows if he lied. So it's like one of those paradoxes. So I was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I just felt bad. Whatever. I don't know why I felt the need to share that, get it off my chest, but kind of funny. Not funny, but just weird. Life is weird. I don't know how to think about it. Anyways, that's my update for the week. I'm going to just get to work here today and do a music day tomorrow. Got to order my food here. But anyways, I hope everyone has a good week. Hope everyone follows their dreams. And, oh, I got a viewer right as I'm about to say goodbye. Who is it? Hello? I think that was everything I was going to say. You just missed my whole update, whoever's the viewer. Let me double check up in here. Just hang on with me real quick. Hang on with me. Oh, and I think they left. Gnarly Storm. Piano at the Cafe. I was going to play ukulele, but I wasn't liking it. I wasn't feeling like it was good enough. And then I've been playing the piano, and I'm way better at the piano than the uke, and it's just prettier and cooler. So I'm going to do that. But anyways, I think I'm going to go unless this person wants to chat me and say hello. Oh, I got 2 viewers now. The viewers are coming in right as I'm about to say goodbye. Who's there? Sound off in the chat. Sound off in the chat. Say hello. Who are you? Where'd you go? Yeah. Close. Hello, who's there? 2 people are there. Maybe you should go back to the beginning and hear my story. It's a crazy story about my walk here in Hanoi, and I saw many crazy things. But yeah, I think if you don't want to chat me, I'm gonna log off here. Woo! Oh, I didn't record this. Damn it. Mistake. Okay, whatever. Anyways, have a good day. Have a good week. We'll see you next week, and I'll let you know how my performance went. Bye.